What's up? What's up? What's up, my people? Look at my people. Man.
Birthday boy.
It's y'all anniversary.
It's everything.
You know how to do it, don't he?
Like, I cash in June, y'all. Let me clear it up. For those who don't know what they're talking about, I cash in June. I get Father's Day, my anniversary, my birthday, all fall in the month of June. So
Man,
I
you know
thank
how to
y'all for
plan
all
it.
the love and support. I really do. It's been real. I hit that real number now, too. So, things getting really,
Oh,
really,
yeah.
you know what
You
I'm
like
saying?
that good wine, just getting better with time.
That's
just
right.
getting better with time.
Life has just begun, my brother. It's just begun.
That's what they keep telling me, and I'm glad I'm at this number. I'm not one of those guys who hiding it or whatever. I'm not dodging it or whatever. I accept this 100%. A lot of people I know make it to here, so I appreciate it, man.
Welcome to the club.
Man,
That's right.
Rut. I appreciate that, man. You broke it in well.
5-0.
All right, so for those who don't know, this is Think About It, Black People. And this is my team. I definitely allow my team to introduce themselves. We just kind of jumped into some stuff, but we got a really light topic we want to talk about today. So let me go ahead and let them introduce themselves to y'all. All right, so first, let's go up. Let's go ahead, E.
Hey, I'm Erica Baird. I'm just excited to be in the house recording something fun on my boy's birthday anniversary.
That's what's up. All right, Shell.
Michelle King, back at it again, my friends. Just, we getting ready to do this. Keep it light and fluffy, as my boy Mark will say.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, Rut.
Hey,
I like that shirt,
you know
man.
what? Appreciate it. Happy birthday to you, my brother, my good friend, and happy anniversary to you and the wife, and to all the queens out there. Good afternoon.
What's happening?
That's what's up.
What's happening?
For those who don't know about Think About It, Black People, we have several other episodes out there as well. We definitely want to encourage you all to check out those episodes as well. Subscribe, tell other people about it as well, because what we're planning on doing, we're consistently trying to talk about topics that are directly related to us, because unfortunately we do not see a lot of these topics out there on other platforms. We've talked about a variety of different topics, everything from finance to Juneteenth to health. So those are some of the topics we have covered. Today we wanted to kind of keep it light and fluffy. We initially started our first episode off talking about our top 5. And people always talk about like your top 5 in terms of music. But we flipped it a little bit. And I love how we flipped it. We flipped it to your top 5 movies. And this category, I'm a movie guy. I hate, COVID is happening right now because I really would love to hit these movie theaters up. I got a special seat that I normally use in the movie theater, and hey, can't do it. So
I'm going as soon as we get done.
Hey, but did y'all hear that they're trying to do like a drive-in theater?
I'm trying to support.
That's
Yes, bringing back the drive-in.
That's old school.
I heard about that. I was like, the drive-in.
Yeah.
Yes, you can stay in your own car. You stay in your own car, bring your own food. It's not a problem.
So the reason we knew we were able to be able to.
They just opened Landmark back up, and they social distancing in there, so they blocking off roads. So I'm trying to.
Oh, okay.
Because, I've been going there since I was 14, so I'm trying to make sure they open.
Yeah.
So which theater do y'all remember? I remember the Peoria, Starlight, and wasn't there a Pioneer one?
And the one in Westlake. I mean,
Beverly. I remember the Beverly, the Madison, the Apollo, Rialto. And I'm old now. That just told me. That's way too many.
I just remember Landmark.
But the Metro
y'all
Center.
Talking theaters, so
rain at the Metro Center and car wash.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the drive-in, just like y'all was talking about. We used to go to the drive-in now. That was fun.
Well, that's what I was talking about. It was the Peoria drive-in. It was I believe a Starlight, and then the Pioneer.
Yeah.
The one on Pioneer Parkway. Yeah.
So the reason we actually came up with this topic is because there's so many different things going on in the news, and we just can't hit a topic and not consciously have a reason why. So one of the major stories that were hitting the news, you guys have probably seen, was about Bubba Wallace, the NASCAR racer who found the noose in his garage of his stall where his car is parked. And I love the camaraderie from NASCAR and what NASCAR was trying to do. NASCAR was trying to lead a march in terms of getting rid of the Confederate flag. But one thing that tied into what we were going to be talking about that directly ties into Peoria, and a lot of people may not know, is that the first Black NASCAR racer, one of our homegrown people here in Peoria played him, Richard Pryor. And for those who don't know who that is, that's Wendell Scott. And the movie is actually called Grease Lightning. So if you haven't seen this movie, it's Grease Lightning, and Richard Pryor is a legend.
Funny movie with a great message.
Yeah.
Funny movie. Because he's like a bootlegger or something like that. And it's a really funny movie with a really great message. So.
And you know what? Today, when I woke up to the news that our 45 had posted that white power chant video, we need to laugh because we got a joke in the White House right now, you know. So,
I agree. I agree.
Hey,
you know, it's not a Republican thing, it's not a Black thing, it's not a white thing, it's not a Democratic thing. We stand against, all of us on this podcast stand against racism.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Any level.
Only 45 I look up to is my man, Billy D.
I don't know. I got another 45. When Jordan came back wearing the 4-5, I was cool with that. You know what I'm saying?
But Billy D was the original 45.
I agree.
Definitely.
I agree.
Definitely.
Yeah,
All right, so let's go ahead and get into the
classics, old school classics.
So let's go ahead and get into these top 5, man. I definitely can't wait to see who y'all got on y'all list, man. All right, so are we ready? All right, so I'm gonna kick it to my girl Erica first. Erica, let's find out. Let's see who you got on your top 5.
All right, so my list is very diverse, but and they're in no particular order. They just all have such a big meaning to me. And the first one I'm going to go to is Imitation of Life. And the reason I picked Imitation of Life is it's an old movie. And it dealt with a Black girl who looked white and was in denial of she was. And I think it was so meaningful to me that my mom found that movie for me when I was young because I was just lost. You know, I didn't fit in with my family because my white family had disowned my mom. My Black family really wasn't having anything to do with me. So I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere. And everything you see on TV, it was teaching me to be ashamed to be Black. I mean, all they had for us was pimps and roots, right? And my mom got that movie for me because she was like, you never have to fear being Black. Black is beautiful. You are beautiful. And it just meant something to me. And the night her mom, and then when her mom had died and she came and it was late and she was crying and I'm sorry, mama, I'm sorry. Sometimes sorries are too late and so important how we treat people. And then the other theme was a white woman who wanted to be a movie star and she was seeking fame that she was neglecting her daughter, and her daughter, while she was in love, the guy who was in love with her mother, because she was so thirsty for love and he was the only one who paid her attention, that she confused healthy attention for love. And I thought that was really important. And being a foster and seeing how many people thirst for love, it just really hit home with me. My second—
That's a great movie. So hold on, before you get to your second one, I hope these viewers are actually taking their pens out and writing this stuff down, because these are movies I guarantee you, if you have not seen, you're going to want to see. All right, go ahead and continue with your list.
A good one. The next one was The Joy Luck Club. And that one was really for me because when I was growing up, my mom grew up white and in white society. And so even when I was the skinnier than my daughter, who's real thin, my mom always said I could lose 5 pounds. Well, that's because my mom was a normal sized white woman, but she was heavy by white standards. She didn't mean to give me a compliment, when she would always tell me that when she would see a B on my report card and she knew I was capable of an A, instead of acknowledging all the A's, she would notice the B. She didn't mean to do it. It was how she was raised. And I think the Joy Luck Club helped me to see it was these mothers who the daughters felt like their mothers didn't love them, were destroying their lives. And then they showed the mothers' lives, and they showed the abuse and things they went through, and in their own brokenness, they loved their children and they were trying to make it better. They just didn't know how. And it just helped me to peace with my mom and her brokenness and everything she lost, and she was trying to instill in me to be better, and it brought us a lot closer. I was in that movie like, I was crying so hard, the dude behind me started gagging. It was a good one. Another one of my favorites, it's like the tearjerkers, those two was Inglourious Basterds. That I debate between that and the Django, because the Django was on my list too. But what I loved about Inglourious Basterds is Inglourious Basterds just shows racism in the rawest form. And so many times people can be horrible, racist, do just treacherous things to people, and then they can go hide. They can go pretend like they never did that. Yeah. And I like that Inglourious Basterds was like, we're gonna put it on your forehead that you was, let's put that Nazi mark on your forehead. And really grace, God's grace, even racists deserve grace if they repent, right? But I think that if more people look like on the outside what they really are on the inside, you know, in church they say there's always something God can bring up that'll make you shut up. I feel like that really just shows how many people do treacherous things and then they want to hide when they get caught on things they do. So just be a good person. You know, that just stood out. The 5 Heartbeats of Oz.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Movies of all time. I mean, it just had the brothers in it. It had situations, competition, people coming up. It had God. It had addiction. It had how when you get past that addiction, God can heal you. And it had how people can, in their broken state, do broken things, but they regret it, even if it doesn't, they never get that chance to make it right. And in the end, they were able to make it right. So that's just like one of the ultimate movies of God's grace, family grace, getting successful grace, and falling from that success grace. I just love that movie. That's
you got to say great music too now. You got to say great music.
Yep, great music. Yep.
Great. Ooh, I got that album on my iPhone still. I love that whole movie. And then my last one is War Room. And it is a not that long ago. And it's just, it was about a woman whose husband was caught up in an affair and was just stressed out, and he didn't know, you know, he was caught up in who he was, that he was stealing, doing a little treacherous stuff to get successful, and was out on his britches because he was getting away with it. And his wife met a woman who basically taught her how to go into that war room, closet, and battle that and pray and demon in that closet with God, and God will work. Just I was in that movie theater with chills and wanting to run up and down the aisle and just praise God like I was in a moving church service. So that's just one of my favorites too, you know. So all of them I love them all because they were all about redemption and about looking at other people from their perspective and trying to understand, and how God gave me grace and gave me the ability to allow people to forgive me when I made mistakes. So
your list, really solid list. It kind of definitely matches who you are. Really very, very, very solid list. All right, Shell, you up. Let's see what you got.
Well, me being a community kind of gal, as I was writing out my list, one of the last things that came about, which I'll state first, is Roots. I know Roots was horrible in regards to what it showed, but it was truths, you know, and that's what we need is truth, because then we can overshadow the lies. So with that being said, it touched me very young in the 70s. It came out in 77, I think it is. Writer Alex Haley. It showed me then that there were some real problems on the land, you know what I mean? And those same problems still exist today in 2020. So it didn't make
Michelle?
me bitter, but it woke me up at such a young age to say, okay, Lord, we need to make some changes here.
Can I
even
say
at
something
young.
real quick?
Sure, definitely.
That is one of the first series I remember us as a family, my mom, everybody, the whole community shut down. And you can go out, look outside when Roots was on, and probably no kids was outside playing. It shut everything down.
And you
That's
know,
right.
one of the most powerful scenes was when his daughter was scratching off with her nails, Toby, and she
Yes.
like
Yes.
just thinking about it makes me cry. And I think it was one of the first movies that started showing how they, at the end, if you remember, the doctor was a black doctor, and just how racism, the person was willing to die over.
Yes.
It's just, it just said, I could be a doctor. They were
Exactly.
doctors, you know,
Exactly.
even with
Great
all
pick, Chef. That's a great pick. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
we
Let's
good.
continue.
We good. We just
That
we
was
thinking
a
about
good-
it. We just thinking about it, you know? And definitely. And so for me, the movie didn't cause me to become bitter, but I spoke to God very young, and then I just spoke like we're talking now. I want to grow up and talk to our people. I want to be able to reach Black people. And look, all these years later, over 40 years later, God has put it together. He has put us together to do so. So with that being said, Roots was the basis for the choice of the movies that I picked. I'm not much on movies. I'm not much on television. I can tell you guys, I don't watch an hour of TV a week because that just it fell away years ago. But my movies that I did choose was from the 90s. So with that being said,
go.
Menace to Society, and we'll say Dead Presidents. They both were written by the brothers Albert and Alan Hughes.
Yep.
And I wanted to, I was seeking answers, I think it was, but it also it gave us the opportunity to show partially where we come from, being that we're stereotyped anyway. You know, these brothers just were showing what was going on in our lives currently and what continues to go on in our lives today. You know, hunted down by police officers following you, you know, Black profiling and things like that, but yet good music. My favorite song from Menace to Society is Just Me and You, Tony, man. What? Ooh, baby.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it showed that inner city life, but there was balance in, it showed love and relationships. The grandmother that was in that movie and how he loved his grandma and yet, and she prayed for him, like Erica saying, she prayed for him. It showed all sides of what we as a culture and a people go through. Same with Dead Presidents.
I think
Go ahead.
with Dead Presidents too, just the impact of Black men after the war.
Yep.
There you go. Exactly. And I actually took time and actually read that today. I'm like, okay, that came out in 1999, 95, but it took us back to the Vietnam War where, you know, Lorenz Tate, our own Chi-Town, you know what I'm saying, come back from war, and he marries his, you know, he gets with his love and they have a child together, and but how the things that he thought that he would probably be able to obtain after serving in the military and stuff, it just wasn't down like that for people of color. So he did what he had to do. He went out and he was trying to get them dead presidents. That's all. And for those that don't know what dead presidents are, they're the presidents that are on our money that have passed on. You know what I'm saying? So, but definitely the story in it is beautiful. Although some may think that it portrays us as being these thieves, these robbers, these crooks. No, it's a story that has meaning today.
You remember one of the last lines he said in that movie? He said, "I fought for this country." You know,
That's
and
right.
So when he came back, unfortunately, after fighting for this country, he thought he was going to get a hero's welcome, and he did not.
Exactly. And even still today,
the country's not fighting for him. I think that was the tragedy, is he went and was willing to die for this country and then came back and couldn't even provide for his family.
Exactly.
That movie was very much a tragedy.
That's right. And you know what? And it's not even just people of color that have gone off to war or military. We got people like, you know, I remember when Yolanda Wyatt went to the military when we were in high school, Desert Storm, I think it was, and she had a newborn son. I will never forget that. You know what I'm saying? She went to high school with us. That was a female. But I think it's all of them are those men and women that have been in military are not getting what they rightfully deserve after going and fighting for this country.
Well, and I think too, just it's easy to say what we would and wouldn't do when we're not in that situation. We got a child to provide for.
Exactly.
No one will hire you. You know,
That's right.
I want to say that people, well, they don't have to be criminals. Sometimes back then they didn't have a choice because
That's right.
taken.
Your back ain't
So
against
But
the wall, so you
that
don't
goes
know.
all the way back. That goes all the way back when before when slavery, when they released everybody was free and they let them go, but yet still they had no place to go, so they had to rob and steal in order to take
Yep.
care of their family. But
That's
see,
right.
that was just the cycle of still thank you for your services, but we're gonna throw you back in jail. So
Yes,
you get
yes,
out
and it's still
because
it's
there's nobody out there to take care of all the mental problems they're gonna have coming back.
that's
Well,
right.
and no acknowledgement of the fact that their lives, their labor, and everything that for was stolen. I mean,
Yep.
Yep.
we can't change that today, but their ability, everything they built was stolen.
Mhm.
They would have been paid a good wage today, and a lot of the people who built on their backs wouldn't have been
Millionaires, billionaires.
That's right. That's right.
I'm sorry, Shell.
So-
Let's continue your list. Your list is
Oh,
good.
we
Let's
good,
go.
we good. So I'm gonna say these two at the same time, We got Juice and we got Boys in the Hood, okay? I'll go ahead and, man, I don't know what, because I got one more after them too, but okay, Boys in the Hood, John Singleton did an excellent job. And what he did is he depicted his own life, which is really what these artists, these producers, these writers are doing. They're just trying to tell our story.
Yeah.
So in Boys in the Hood, I've watched it over and over again, and I'm like, well, they seem like just regular, ordinary people in the neighborhood trying to make it just like anybody else. You know what I mean? And then again, there goes the Black profiling with the police officers, and you want to have your car show because everybody want to show off their ride. Because look, I mean, we worked hard for it, so we got us a ride. You have your little car show, and then you can't even come home without being pulled over by the popo, and it's just the same storyline. And then this young brother,
And it goes back in history, Michelle, too, the reason that a lot of times Blacks show their cars is because they weren't allowed to buy houses. So
that's right.
The only thing that they own. So that again
That's right.
Historical.
That's
That's a
right.
great movie.
Exactly. Definitely a great movie. And in the end, this brother gets gunned down, and here he, is going to go off and play football, and probably going to help bring up the family and his son, and then we lose him to gunfire. And but then you got Ice Cube. They want to go out and retaliate, but in the end, they came together and was like, no, we not going to do this. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I had a song in that one too. Let me check it out.
I just had to give a shout out to a strong Black father.
Yep.
Oh.
Lawrence.
Oh, exactly. Definitely.
Father, I love.
Definitely.
Listen,
most definitely.
Furious
Lawrence Fishburne.
Styles. That name was just like what? Like, and you listen to everything he said in that movie. Furious Styles. He put us up on real game. He really did.
He did, and Lawrence Fishburne, Ice Cube, all of them. They played their roles, and I think the song in that was no, that ain't Just Me and You, but it'll come to me. But let's do this one here. We gonna shed a little happiness on it. How about Friday, 1995? Friday,
Love it.
And this, man. You know what
I
I'm
could
saying?
watch that movie 1,000 times.
Over and over again. Just a day in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Yes, right. That's right.
The Ice Cream Man, Big Worm.
Oh yeah, Big Worm, Big Perm. You know what I'm saying? Just another day in the hood, and in the end, it showed how we can squash things. We can work it out. And right now, today, we need to continue to send that same message that it's all gravy, baby.
I love the scene in that movie where Ice Cube actually stood up for Nia Long's character at that time.
That's
because
right.
remember,
That's
I was like, that's a female. You like,
right.
he had punked everybody in the hood, and Ice Cube was like, nah, today this is over. So
That's
we need
right.
a lot of that happening as well. These brothers standing up for these sisters. That's a fact.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Hey, great list. All right, Rut, you ready? Let's get it.
Oh man, me, I'm a very simple person when it comes to movies. Like Michelle, I don't watch TV much no more anyway. But my 5, I had 10, but I had to narrow it down to 5. My top 5, no particular order. I'm gonna go with the ones y'all probably know about. Well, I'm gonna go with the one everybody. Roots was already chosen. We know about that. I was in around 9 when it came out, and yeah, that was like you said, when that came on, it came on at 7 o'clock because they played 2 episodes back to back. In the house for the rest of the night, watching that. Next day at school, we looking at over at the. All frowned up at the teacher looking at us like, okay, this ain't gonna be a good day. and right about that time, that's when we got switched to, I got segregated from Roosevelt to an all-white school to Calvin Coolidge. So for me, that wasn't easy at all. So, and then at that time, let's see, the next one, I got Life.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
One of the funniest movies. I still got it in the DVD, shrink wrap and everything, never opened it. One of the best movies, reason why I say that's one of my best movies, because it had all the comedians there at one time, all black cast, most funniest comedians ever. Tell them about the gun line, boss.
And my baby boss.
That's
Sorry.
the best movie. And then the next one, of course, another Eddie Murphy movie he was one of my main character comedy heroes back then. Harlem Nights.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Dylan. Did you see my list, man?
That's the Priest Dillery. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I love both of those movies.
And then the next one.
Sean Life especially was so moving. I mean, both. I loved Harlem Nights, but Life, boy, that if you really listen to it, the movie was deep, man. Deep message in it because it's for black men.
It showed how the 70s, how it was in the early. I think they kind of exaggerated their life.
The timeline, yeah.
But you saw how, because I'm like, it was in 1917s and they already played 2000 and what?
Baseball game?
Yeah. But, it showed how they were treated back in the days and what they had to do. Same thing. You had to do what you had to do after certain situations and wars and things to make money. And then the next one I had was Do the Right Thing. Spike Lee movie. One of the favorite.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Radio Raheem. That was one of my favorite movies. It had a very, very, very powerful message in it, political message, biblical. Everything was in that movie from the top to bottom. Spike did a good job on that movie. And then, so that's what, 4?
Yep.
Now I got 2 of them. I had to cross one off, but I'm gonna go with this one. Y'all probably don't know this movie.
Go ahead.
It's called Drum. Yeah, you're puzzled.
I don't know.
Now, I think, in my own opinion, Quentin Tarantino took the criteria of Drum and made it into Django. Because if you look at Drum, it's the same situation as the Django was. If you look up the movie, DRUM, and the fight scene in Django was the same fight scene in Drum. I was like, oh snap, that's Drum. But that was like the movie before Roots.
Okay.
So check that one out. And it's real deep. I mean, it's a old African exploitation movie. So it's real dope. And then I crossed off one movie when I brought up Mr. 45. Lady Sings the Blues. I had that one on there.
Oh yeah. Oh
Great
yeah.
one.
Oh yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna roll through mine real quick because I know we'll probably run out of time, whatever. But I'm gonna roll through mine real quick. Y'all list is solid. I like every one of y'all lists. So
about 5 minutes left, Lamar.
All right, I'm gonna spring mine real quick. First up, Untouchables. Untouchables is one of my movies. I love it. It's just so gangster, just beginning to end. Illinois, Chicago, the whole 9. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. My next movie, like I said, my movie's no particular order as well. My next movie is Malcolm X. I think Spike Lee did an amazing job on that movie. Denzel just killed it, did an amazing job kind of embodying that role of Malcolm X.
Outside the police department.
Oh, yeah. And then kind of gave us a different perspective on Malcolm. So, I really loved how he did that. I'm gonna hit you with a curveball. No one probably will expect this one to be on my list. My next one it's called A Christmas Story. I watch this movie every year.
I like
With the Red Ryder short
kid.
shot BB gun. Ralphie, you'll shoot your eye out. I gotta watch it, y'all. It's a guilty pleasure.
Shoot your eye out, kid.
Exactly. I gotta watch it. My next movie is actually Rut stole my next movie, and I love it because of the all-star cast. It's Harlem Nights. The reason I love that movie because it has so many elements in it, so many different layers of great comedians in one room. And it was one of the first times I had seen that many people in the all-star cast just do work together. I mean, and they just killed it. It was just like a symphony. You just killed it.
And it was just like, it was like a legacy, like Red Fox inspired.
Exactly.
Inspired Eddie
Richard
Murphy.
Pryor inspired Eddie Murphy. I mean, like, it was just, blew my mind. And
There
last
was
but not
one
least,
a
comedian.
drink of orange juice in the container.
Only regret I regret on both movies was Life in Harlem Nights. Bill Cosby wasn't in neither one of them.
yeah, but you remember they had that issue, the whole issue. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that
He still
offline.
had to be in there. He still had to be in there. Some at least 2 minutes or something.
We'll talk about that offline.
Hey, honey, I'm never coming home again.
Hey, give me 505 Holly Court. See, I know that whole movie. I'm sorry. Not a line off of there I can't quote. And my last and final movie, and I became a fan of this because I was always a Marvel fan, and I was waiting for this to happen with Black Panther. I'm a big Black Panther fan. Wakanda forever, for real. I knew who T'Challa was before a lot of people was like, what's this whole Black Panther thing? I was like, y'all have no idea. This dude is Richard and Tony Starks. He's a king of a whole country. I mean, it was just amazing storyline.
My son loves Black Panther.
They bringing Storm in the next one.
Oh, I know, but I'm not sure about character-wise who they select, and we'll talk about that offline as well, man.
But that was his woman, so that was his woman though, so it's gonna be.
I know. So I hope it's a really good one.
For the real comic book fans.
I hope it's a really good one who they selected Storm, because she's a great character, and I hope they, really do a great part.
Good job. Fun fact, but see how they switched it up in Black Panther, they were saying that T'Challa's mom that played Angela Bassett, she was supposed to be Storm.
Oh, that's why her hair was Nah, they gotta bring real Storm.
Right.
They gotta bring real Storm in. Real Marvel people, we want real Storm.
Yeah, she was a lovely. So I don't know. That won't work.
Beautiful in that movie with them.
Oh, she was. But yeah, she was not
fine
Storm.
anyway. She just don't age. Yeah, she fine anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, but yeah, y'all lists are all solid. I want to thank everybody for checking us out. We are wrapping up right now. Unfortunately, we got to wrap everything up. That time really flies. So I appreciate my team. Give all y'all lists a round of applause, and make sure y'all check out those lists, man. What's our social media that they can follow us on, Erica?
They can follow us at Think About It Black People at yahoo.com if you want to email us any topics you would like to see. They can also follow us at Think About It Black People on YouTube, and they can follow us at Think About It Black People on Facebook. And on Instagram, we have Think About It Black People.
On IG.
On IG. All right. Thank y'all for your time again. I really do appreciate it. I can't wait to do this again. This is Think About It.
Hey.
Yeah.
Instead of our music on the way out, we need to sing Happy Birthday.
Oh, let's do it.
Y'all don't want me to sing.
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy
birthday to you.
This is why I don't sing.
Happy birthday, Lamar.
Many more.
Happy birthday to you.
I appreciate it, y'all. This is Think About It Black People. We'll see y'all again, y'all. Love.
Peace out. Peace out.